Evening.
Evening.
Hey, listen, before I get started, can we just have a moment of silence for Arlen Spector?
That's enough. That'll do.
If there ever was a poster child, you know, for the politicians we don't want, he's the guy. So, goodbye Arlen, and goodbye to Dad Roach. And I have to say, I'm not a real Ron Paul guy, because he gets some sort of out there ideas. But his son, who was just elected by wife, was quoted in the paper saying, "It's time to take our country back," and I agree. It's time to take our country back.
Amen.
And I'm going to talk to you tonight about some ideas that I have about how we might do that and what's important. Because in this kind of an environment, in this country today, where we've got the president who was so persuasive in his campaign and who is now taking advantage of that, because he told us he would bring change to this country, but nobody quite knew exactly what kind of change he was bringing.
Castro said.
Yeah, it was fundamentally change America. That's what he said, remember? Well, I think we all took that in different ways, but pretty much right now the American people are fed up with the kind of change that he's been bringing. And when we're facing a guy, an ideology like this, an ideology of people that believe that they can fundamentally change America, we better understand what we stand for. Because if we don't understand our own beliefs, how are we going to convince anybody else? How are we going to bring this country back, I don't even say to the right, just to the right in the sense of what is correct for our country. We need to articulate our message and our philosophy that offers a better choice than the other side and a better answer to our nation's problems. And for many of us, for most of us, I hope, in this room, the answer is to go back to our founding principles, back to 1776 and those years. Those principles that some will say are outdated and no longer relevant are truths. They're basic truths. And if we can adhere to those basic truths, we'll have more than simply a structure for our government, because it's more than that. It's truths in the Declaration, the truths in the Constitution, that established a worldview that was valid 250 years ago, and it's still valid today. The conservative philosophy, and I certainly would call myself a conservative, and I know some might call themselves libertarian, but the conservative philosophy is the political expression of those truths in the 21st century. And it's our obligation, our duty, our desperate attempt, finally, to convince others by communicating that message, that philosophy, in a simple way, and insisting that our elected officials adhere to that philosophy. So how do we simply state what conservatives stand for? Well, I don't think it's inaccurate to say we stand for God, gold, and guns. These are the three pillars of conservative philosophy. If we're socially conservative, it's because of our faith. And if we're fiscally conservative, it's because we care about how money is spent, our money and the nation's money. And if we're concerned about the security of our nation, then we're concerned about not only our personal guns, but the defense of our nation. So first, God.